First and foremost, thank you very much for agreeing to participate in this study. The purpose of this video is to provide you with some guidance on what you're required to do or how to undertake the Q-sort, especially given that this method is not familiar to many people. Alright, so if you double click on this link here, this will direct you to the PowerPoint file you need to work on. Alright, so it will open up this file, this PowerPoint file here. Okay, the first thing I need you to do is to complete the information in this box here. Okay, I do not need to know specific information about yourself, and given that this study is anonymous, I will not be collecting any of your personal information. I do, however, need this information here to be able to facilitate my data analysis. Alright, so please take some time to complete your details in this box here. Okay, this is an example that I've done to show you the level of detail that is required. Okay. Once you've done that, then you can proceed to the next slide. Okay, this slide contains a list of instructions on what you're required to do. I've also included instructions in comment boxes in the subsequent slides to guide you along the way so that you don't have to keep coming back to this slide to know what you need to do next. Alright, so if you click on the next slide, okay, as I mentioned before, there are comment boxes such as this with instructions on what you need to do, so you can just click on them. Okay, so basically there's 25 statements in here that I need to sort into the 3 categories below here. Okay, so whichever statements that reflect either one of these categories, just click and drag them into one of the boxes in whichever row you think they belong. Okay, so say for example, if statement 1 to me reflects more like how I think, I'll just click it and drag it into this first box here. Okay, and for example, if statement 2 reflects less like how I think, I would click it and drag it into this box below here. Okay, I'll be fast forwarding through some of the steps so I don't take up too much of time. Alright, so basically just do the same for all the statements. Alright, and there can be a situation where you may feel like there are more statements that reflect a certain category based on your opinion compared to the others. Alright, and note that this is completely acceptable, especially given that this study is about your point of view on the social license to operate, which is what these statements are all about. Alright, so I'm going to show you an example where in a situation where there are more statements that are more like how I think and what I would suggest to do. Alright, so say for example you've sorted all the statements and you've come to up to statement 20, and this is the sort that you've come up with. Alright, so obviously if you stop all the boxes in the first row here, and say for example statement 21 also reflects more like how you think. Okay, what I suggest you do is to click and drag this statement to this box on the extreme right of this second row here. Okay, and just so it's differentiated from the ones on the left, which are the ones that somewhat like how you think. Okay, so for example, if the next statement as well is more like how you think, just put it next to this one here. Alright, okay, this is done. I'm just suggesting this because given the limited space on this PowerPoint slide, I've had to make equal numbers of boxes for each category. Alright, but that doesn't mean that you have to have equal numbers of statements in each category. Alright, so if you continue sorting, okay, for example, once I've continued sorting, I've got the 3 categories sorted such as this. So statement 1 to 25 would be the more like how I think statements for me, and statement 3 to 17 in this row here would be the ones that are somewhat like how I think, and statement 2 to 24 are the ones that are less like how I think. Alright, so once the 3 categories is sorted, I would then need you to transfer those statements into this table here. Okay, so start with the statements that you've put under more like how I think. Okay, go back to the slide here. I need you to copy and paste the ones that you've ranked as more like how you think. Okay, just click on the first statement, press shift and click on the other statements in this category. Okay, copy them and paste them into the slide here. Okay, so once you've got all the statements in this category in the slide here, I need you to then sort the statements into the boxes on the right side of this table, starting with the box on the extreme right of the table for the statement amongst all of these here that is most like how you think, and making your way to the middle of the table for statements that are lesser and lesser like how you think. Okay, so an example that I've completed is this one. All right, so this would be the more like how I think statements for me. And then I would need you to do the same for the statements that are in the less like how I think category. So go back to this slide here. Okay, and then copy the statements in the last row here and paste them into the slide here, and do the same as you did before, except on the opposite end of this table. So instead of pasting them on the right side of this table, you need to paste them in the boxes on the left side of this table, starting with the box in the extreme left and working your way to the middle of the table. So an example that I've completed would be something like this. So these are the statements that are more like how I think. These ones are the ones that are less like how I think. All right. And then for the statements that are somewhat like how I think, we need to go back to this slide here and copy these 5 statements here and paste them into this slide. And then sort them starting from the middle here, middle of the table here. Okay. And then work my way towards the left of this table. All right. So a complete Q sort will look something like this. Okay. And note you can move the statements around at any point of time. So say for example, if you feel like statement 12 shouldn't be here, and statement 19 and shouldn't be -1, you statement 19 is less like how you think compared to statement 12. All right, so just switch them around. Okay, so you can switch statements around at any point of time. Okay. And please, once you've done that and you're happy with how it looks, please check that you have all, you've placed all 25 statements in this table, and all 25 statements have only been placed once in here. All right. So once you've done that, then please provide me with some feedback at the bottom here. Once again, this is really important for data analysis purposes. So I'd really appreciate that you take some time to complete some feedback at the bottom here. Okay. What I need to know most importantly is why you had placed the statements at either ends of this table. Okay, so why did you place a particular statement in this the box on the extreme left of this table, and why you place a particular statement on the box on the extreme right of this table. All right, and also say for example, there are more statements that are more like how you think, and the statements that are more like how you think have been filled up to this column here. Okay, just state in the feedback column that this column -2 is where the statements to the right are more like how you think compared to the statement to the left. All right, and it would work the other way around as well. So for example, if you had more statements that are less like how you think, and you fill the boxes up to here for statements that are less like how you think, okay, up to number 2, the column number 2 here. All right, just state at the bottom here that column number 2 is where the statements to the right are more like how you think compared to the statements to the left. All right, that's about it. Once you've done, please save this file and email it to Mark. All right, his details are here, and he will filter all your personal information and provide me with just this PowerPoint here. All right, thank you so much for your time and for your input. I really appreciate it.